On January 5th, 1933, construction commenced. And on May 28th, 1937, it was open to vehicular traffic.
Yeah.
It took just 4 years to build the Golden Gate Bridge at a cost of $27 million.
Yeah.
Now, in today's figure, that's about $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
The world's tallest bridge, the Malou Viaduct Bridge in France, took 3 years and 2 days to finish construction at a cost of $394 million. And that was 16 years ago. This only shows you that wonders of the world take time and money. A little over 4 years ago, Martin Tubb had a vision. That vision soon became a dream.
Nightmare.
And after many sleepless nights and an unwavering spirit, along with 40 or so dedicated, industrious volunteers and about $40,000, that dream became reality. This may not be the tallest, or the longest, or the most technically engineered bridge. It is possible, though, that the Ferndale Children's Bridge will go down in the annals of history as one of the most beautiful. Today's ceremony will commence with We Below Pack 8, posting of the colors.
Color guard! Color guard! Halt!
Actually, we started out with a slightly different group of people to get started with the fundraising and the planning, but this is the group that made it happen. And they all did.
Get over there. Get over there, you.
Doug too, yes.
Right. He's shy.
So we're happy to turn it over to the city. We wanted to have a whole bunch of kids to run through it, but looks like we got 3 anyways.
In uniform.
Wait, you're a kid, I know. Yeah, okay. You come on forward. So 4 years later, 40 grand later, 40 volunteers later, here we are, and we are so glad it's over with.
Yes, here we are.
Just ask Sylvia. Yeah. Well, Bill Dexter, he's a construction expert from Paso Robles.
San Luis Obispo.
Like I said, San Luis Obispo. And Dick Cooley, he's from down there as well, but he's been up here for a long time. He's an engineer especial. Tom Stevens, geologist, and he helped on all of the soils issues. Stephen Avis is city planner, but he helped on all the government liaison things, and he wrote the grant application to McLean Foundation. So we got a $5,000 grant from them. Doug Olson was.
You know, you could just stop there.
Yeah. Doug Olson has been MC not only in the Bridge Bash we had a year ago, but today, and he also was totally knee deep in all the concrete and the work on the wood. There was a lot of work that went in on this thing, and we're happy it is done. And we want to dedicate it to the kids because Sylvia and I were sitting on our front porch over there when this thing started, and we were watching all these kids walking around and cars going by at the same time, classrooms of kids and individual, and it was just not safe. We also did see there was a wedding that was going on over here one day, and the overflow parking came down Francis Street, and there were young ladies with big, huge gowns, and they were just, walking around. This was not pretty at that point. So, long story, we got the idea going 4 years ago, but 3 years ago we made a proposal to the city council that we thought it was only going to cost about $8,000. Well, it took a little longer and it cost a lot more. Michael Sweeney also from the city council, he was definitely a help on helping us pick the design and help us push us through. And Bill, you wanted to say thank you to a couple people.
I did. In addition to the number of people that have worked on this just locally within the community, there have been a couple of very special outsiders from 500 miles away when we needed special engineering for a foundation that could only be built on a creek bed without interrupting the requirements that the Fish and Game is placed on a live water stream. And so we had a really good fortune to have an engineer by the name of Bruce Elster in Morro Bay, 500 miles away, donate all of the engineering to do analysis of the soils reports that we gave him and design a helical pier high-tech foundation for the bridge so we didn't have to dig any holes. In addition to that, it was really nice to watch him work. And then also we had Dave Spencer from Atascadero, who is the person who installed those piers and did it at his cost after driving up here for the whole time. So I wanted to make sure that we went on record and gave them special acknowledgement for all of their efforts that made this really a realistic possibility. There's one other thing that I wanted to add, Doug, to your litany of amazing bridges, is that in addition to the Ferndale Francis Creek Bridge being one of the most beautiful, it also took longer to build than any of the others.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up.
Before we let Dick Hooley say a word, I just noticed that Laura Hussey and Brian Morrison showed up. Hey, hey. And I'm telling you, without Laura Hussey, this would not have happened.
Yeah, that is true.
It's for sure. Not only a big donor, she organized the whole fundraising, the Bridge Bash. Right. And,
let's see. No, I just wanted to say, when Martin mentioned to me that he wanted to put a bridge across the creek, I said, well, what kind of a bridge would that be? And he says, we got a couple logs over here. We can just lay them across the creek and board it across and get that thing done.
should have done it.
And he shouldn't have said anything to me. But I said, well, good luck with that, with all the different bureaucracies you're going to have to go through. It didn't faze him. And then they started getting into budget, and they had a bridge design. I think the committee was looking at about 20,000 or something like that, 18,000. He asked me what I thought, and I said, well, kick it up to about 35 and you'll be closer, but you won't be there yet. Because I knew what they were in for. Martin didn't. I think he probably would have stopped at that point.
Ignorance is totally bliss.
It is. But this guy is the most tenacious fellow I have ever met.
No.
I couldn't agree more.
Without him as the driving force behind this, all of the volunteers and all of the fundraising and all would have been for naught, because there were obstacles that you have to go through something like this to even understand where they are and what they're going to be. Martin now knows it, and I bet he won't volunteer to make it. But he is an extremely guy that just won't quit. I don't know how many houses he painted in order to get here. So,
Or still painting.
and he's still
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, still going to paint the bridge some more, aren't you?
Yeah.
Touch it up. Anyway, we owe this guy the bridge. The bridge is because of Martin.
So at this time, if Michael Sweeney, member of the City Council, will come up, and there'll be the reading of the bridge acceptance and the resolution.
Thank you, Doug. Well, before I read this, I just wanted to echo what Mr. Hooley was just saying about Martin's tenaciousness. I remember I was at the meeting where the group finally decided on a design, and that took the better part of a year just to go through the various alternatives available. And I remember saying to him at that point in time, now the hard work really begins, because of the fundraising effort that was required to get to this point. And so I totally agree on Martin's tenacious abilities in that regard. So at the last City Council meeting that was on the 15th of November, the City Council adopted Resolution 2017-30, the resolution of the City Council of the City of Ferndale authorizing acceptance of the Francis Creek footbridge. Whereas a donor-sponsored committee was formed to construct a footbridge that would allow access directly from Francis Street to Fireman's Park. And whereas the Francis Creek Bridge Committee raised all the funding for the bridge, and there has been no cost to the city. And whereas the City Council of the City of Ferndale has determined the footbridge will be beneficial to the citizens and tourists visiting the park. And whereas the bridge has been completed and will now need to be accepted by the City Council of the City of Ferndale. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Ferndale that the city accepts the Francis Creek footbridge connecting Francis Street and Fireman's Park, passed and adopted on this 15th day of November 2017 by a unanimous vote. Thank you.
Go ahead. 1, 2.
Here's history being made right before our very eyes by Carl. That's right. That's great. That's right. So good to see you. So good to see you. Oh, this is great. So fun.
Where are the kids? Thank you.
They were on lockdown.
Yeah.
They were on lockdown.
Oh, they're still locked? Yeah, they're looking for a guy with a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats. We made it, huh?
Yeah. Nice work, buddy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's right.
Well, I thought.
I know. I'm kind plastic.
Did it take 30 minutes or we got less? Less? Okay.
Really? Okay, ready to golf now?
Yeah! I know it.
Lost my golf buddy for 2 years. Well, you know, we're gonna get the golf course over here opened up.
What?